a demo planned today too. That's so exciting. All right. If you can, just type your attendance in the attendee in the meeting minutes. We would appreciate that. First topic out about Agent Gateway's AI policy. Should we adopt? I think we updated in the COC, so it's probably a good reminder for the community. So Art, do you want to add anything here?
No, yeah, I think that this was rolled over from last week. And so, yeah, just a good reminder for everyone that we recently updated the code of conduct to refer to the Linux Foundation's guidelines for using AI to develop, code, documentation, or whatever kind of contribution it might be. So, yeah, thanks for, I can't remember who merged it in, but thanks for doing that.
Yeah, maybe Jenny. So, but it's good. So we have the policy in place now. So thank you for bringing that up. Mayava, can you talk about your performance PR? Do you want to take the control over? Feel free.
Okay. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Do you want to take your control over? I'll stop sharing.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so basically I've been on this for quite a couple of days, trying to write the performance test for the kgateway following John's blog. So we just with the what's it called, with Nina as well. So we've come up with some things, but we did a little tweak actually, which I'll just do a quick rundown. So part of the PR includes like a nightly, I'll start from the beginning here, a nightly release, a nightly, what's it called, workflow, and then the release workflow, including the release workflow. So the nightly tests, yeah, is incorporated into the nightly test. So it's going to run nightly with the conformance test, and then the release, yeah, and also on every release too, the performance test is going to run on that workflow. So what I have tried to do here is to simulate a virtual cluster, because we don't have like that cluster capacity that would want to eat the API directly. So all we've done is to like simulate, fake cluster, virtual cluster, fake nodes, fake pods, and services like that. So I did have the code logic here doing all of that to simulate a large production scale cluster, and then a similar method we've been using to write tests to in the features, load testing, attached. Then I have the attached, I think this is quite large. So I have a README here. Maybe I should I think better still, I just walk through the README. It's quite, straightforward and small. So the attach route, it measures the gateway API route attachment performance. The V cluster simulation file, it creates fake cluster resources to simulate production scale environment, like I said. And then we had tested with 1,000 route and then 5,000 routes, and then like a performance monitoring. So just similar to what John did, right? But I think John used pilot load testing. So it's quite just a bit different, the logic. So, and then I included, for anyone who wants to run this test as well, I included like a simple setup to run the tests, which is in the README here in the same folder. So basically, I think I have what we tested for here, setup time. Okay, so baseline route. Okay, the purpose, and then we have a threshold of less than 30 seconds. And I use the batch batch creation approach, not the bulk one. So we created a route in batches of 100 for the baseline now, for the 1000 route. And then it tested for the threshold, the setup time, the tear down time. And okay, this is for the batch, for the production workload now. This is done in batches of 500 because I'm testing 5,000 routes here. And then the same thing is applicable here, the setup time, the route ready time, the tear down time, the total write, and okay, types. Okay, this is just basically walking through the, each files, what's a summary of what they are doing, the data structure, the vCluster, the load test manager, and then the attached route. So I have a workflow here where I'd run that because I know it lasted 22 minutes, which won't be able to run on this call. So this is like the result from the test. So this is for the 1000. Let me go through the 1000. That's for the 5000. Let me go through the 1000 first. So for the 1000 routes, the 1000 routes was created in 18 seconds. But that's not the major thing we are checking for in this test. What we are trying to check here is somewhere here. So after the 1000 route has been created, then an additional route was created, and then we tried to do a call to the gateway to see how quickly the extra route created is ready for use. Is going to return a 200 okay, and it took approximately 1 second, right? Gateway condition ready met, time 1.03 seconds. Then there was logic to do like a stopwatch, just to measure the user time, incremental route, and then also the tear down time as well. I think a summary is somewhere here. I'll just go there. The setup time here, the route ready time, the tear down time, and then the number of writes that was done. Then this is just information on the virtual cluster, the number of nodes used, the number of services, and then the endpoints, the CPU usage. So this took 104. I think it's quite similar to, so it's just showing us even under it's 1000 route or 5000 route or more, it's going to take the gateway performance under those production scale routes still did not deprecate. So, but for the setup of 5000 route, it took 1 minute 38 seconds. That's the setup time to create the 5000 route now. So, and then we did creating one incremental route here. It took, so in the logs too, it shows clearly probing gateway until it returns 200. So it took here too, just approximately 1 second as well for the route to be ready for 5000 route. So the whole of the test took about 22 minutes to run for both the 1000 route and 5000, which I think is quite fair for a nightly run. So I think that's just pretty much it. I've run the test already. I included a screenshot as well in the PR, just like a screenshot, so summarized test results. So for anyone who wants to have a look, or if there is anyone as well who has like an input, I would appreciate if anyone can just go through the files and see if there is an input to to what's it called now, to give an update, basically. I'd say, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I had one thing I wanted to call out. Like, I wanted to include the screenshot because I think it's important to call out you can run the load tests independently of the conformance tests, right? So like even though they're part of
Yes.
this workflow, like you can run just the performance tests.
Yes, it's in your nightly test. I think the logic here doing that is the the GitHub name workflow dispatch, then the input here will determine, right?
Yep.
So if the input is not run load test, apparently it's going to, this is, if I could bring that up for conformant stance, this is what we have here. So this condition needs to be met before this step, this job is going to run. Yep. Thanks, Nena, for pointing that out. Yeah, any question, please?
No, this is great. I mean, this is exactly what we'd hope too. So really appreciate it. And are you saying this is going to be part of the nightly test once this is merged?
Yes.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yes. It's kind of part of it. And on every release as well, there is a workflow. So we'll do like a performance to for on every release to see if there is like a regression or any of those things in the performance for every new release. Yeah.
Another quick question, but so the setup time that doesn't include the kgateway installation time, right? So like it's after the Helm chart's installed.
Yes. So the one thing to note again is the workflow in here has some this user time. Sorry. The time it takes for the route to create the 5,000 route to create. I'm trying to see the part. Yeah, this one right here. So it says baseline routes created in, that is the 5,000 route took 1 minute, 38 seconds, which is quite different from this what's it called here? The setup time, right? The setup time, yeah. What we mean here is the time it takes for the extra route, the incremented route now to be ready. That's it's what we are trying to measure here to see how it performs, even if there is thousands of route already for the kgateway to handle. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thanks for sharing. It was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, am I next on the list, or I think we had one more?
Yeah, I was going to call out. Actually, I was busy taking a screenshot because this is such a special moment of the work you're producing for the project, and yourself, Maya, as a mentee, and Nina as a mentor. It's just all successful coming together. Really, really excited. So I want to post on social too. I was busy, doing that work behind the scenes.
Thanks, Lynn.
Yeah, no, thanks to you and Nina, because this is something we wanted for the project for a long time, and you both made it happen. So great.
Nina's input has been very, very helpful.
Thanks. I think another thing that we want to do is probably write like a blog as like a final like project for both of the LFX mentorship projects. So like keep that in mind. Like once this PR merges, we probably want to publish something on the kgateway like blog site about the mentorship progress and like the final output.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think it's a great visibility for you as a mentee, and for us, sponsor the project. And it's great visibility for Lena and great visibility for the kgateway project too. So love that idea. Okay, the next topic is also yours, the GitHub Secure Open Source Fund Program. Do you want to quickly talk about that?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up the link. So just one sec.
Okay, I can post it in the chat too. I think it's this one.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone can like have a look. So basically, I don't think there's any need to share screen. So basically, it's about the GitHub open source funds. Okay, I think I just share the screen. Share. One sec, sorry. So I got a mail sometimes last week about the GitHub open source form. So basically, what GitHub is all about, saying here is just they're looking for projects, open source project now, because of the advantages of open source project, what the open source project is doing for the community. So they've come up with this thing called GitHub Secure Open Source Fund, where maintainers or active members of an open source project go through a 3 weeks program, and it's just for two times in a week for the 3 weeks, and it's just 2.5 hours a day. So that's just for 15 hours for the whole 3 weeks, and then it comes with some extra perks, like, so they are going to fund the project with about $10,000, which is going to the maintainers now, or directly to the maintainers now, or anyone involved in the training. And then for kgateway as well, there's going to be some kind of advertisements, like the Greg said, for kgateway or for any of those projects involved. They are like going to promote it, and I think there are Azure credits too available up to 10,000, and then mentioned something around 120,000 Azure credit. So for the project now, personally, I believe. So so I think this is session 3, if I'm not mistaken. They've just finished session 2, and then they listed quite a number of open source project that was involved in the session 2, about 71 of open source project. So basically, so the staff programmer manager, rather, I spoke to, said there is like room for like 2 people now from the projects to be in the training, and it's just for 3 weeks. So I'm just going to so I told Lynn about it, and if anyone would be interested, like one more person to jump on that too, it would be really helpful for the project itself too, because like going through what the man said, it's going to like touch on security aspect, how to best security practices basically for open source projects. And I've seen like reviews and all of those from just the concluded session recently. I'm probably going to share that too in the Slack channel. So I thought to bring that up in the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It would be great if you can share with the Slack channel. What's the requirement? Does it have to be a
It's just,
maintainer
yeah, it just
on
have
the
to be like
project?
a maintainer, or like so what he said was because of the what Greg said was because of the, what's it called now, the trainings, and then the ideas that would be passed on, that it would most likely need someone who is a senior member of the project to make decisions, right? Or to like say, okay, this is the best practices, and then it is quite easier when a maintainer is talking about these, and or like an active someone who knows about the project deeply. Do you understand?
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
know what's the commitment from the maintainer if somebody would choose to volunteer for this?
So
Because I
it's
think
just, yeah, like I said, it's just for 3 weeks. I think it's somewhere, yeah. It's just for 3 weeks, and then it's just 2.5 hours a day and twice a week. That's 5 hours for 1 week, and then 5 hours for each week, rather. Total of 15 hours. Yeah,
okay.
that's all. Yeah. So I don't think it's really going to be time consuming, but it's going to involve going to classes, and then he said there on the requirements, it requires that anyone going to attend or partake in the program achieves like 80% of attendance, and then have to turn camera on, just so they know people are involved in the training. Yeah, but it comes with, like I said too, they are paying for the time too, which is somewhere, yeah. I saw that earlier now. I think I saw something, sorry. Per project now. I thought I saw something around the amount, but I'll share more details on the Slack channel.
Yeah, that sounds
I'll
great.
share more details on the Slack channel. So in case if anyone is interested,
Yeah,
that would be
thank you.
great. We're good for the project. So
Yeah, thank you so much for thinking
yeah.
ahead for the project. Nina, we have a few minutes left. Do you think this is enough time for you for the demo?
I think I mean the demo should be pretty short.
Okay.
People with like things to try on their own. I can share screen. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah. So that was a load testing. So I'm gonna go through some of the new Agent Gateway features that landed recently. So if you're interested in Agent Gateway, I'll do a brief like walkthrough of how everything's connected. But I'd highly encourage you to go through the README, or actually, I think we now have user-facing docs on our site. So if you go to kgateway, I think Art added a nice Agent Gateway section, which kind of walks through again like the basic setup and like a simple example with the MCP backend. But this README has more examples on like how to do HTTP routes, gRPC routes, things like that. It also includes kind of an overview of the Agent Gateway XDS API and a fun mermaid diagram that you have to zoom in very close to see. So yeah, so I guess first of all, I can give a brief overview of the architecture and then like jump into the demo. So in kgateway, we now have two proxy syncers, one that syncs our Envoy data plane and one that syncs the Agent Gateway data plane. So Agent Gateway is a standalone data plane that lives in its own repo separate from Envoy. It's written in Rust, and it has a lot of cool AI features. So it has like a unified API, so you can route to different LLM providers using the same OpenAI API. You can define MCP backends and apply auth policies to them. You can define A2A backends and route to those as well. So yeah, so it's like a lot of our AI functionality now works with Agent Gateway. So like Envoy also works today with like the whole Gateway API, but for like if you're interested in routing to like MCP servers, Agent Gateway is a slightly better fit because it supports a lot of those things natively. So with that, let's just go through briefly the high-level architecture and then jump to the demo. So like I mentioned, like if you enable Agent Gateway in the Helm chart, this new Agent Gateway syncer will spin up. And that will translate things not into, like it'll take Gateway API inputs, so like your Gateway class collection, your HTTP route collection, all of those things, and translate them into the new Agent Gateway XDS types. And then the XDS collection will get built and then sent, the Agent Gateway data plane will get a snapshot update from the control plane with those resources. So with that, let me run through a quick example. Actually, I already have Agent Gateway spun up, so this is why I think it'll be relatively fast. So I have my control plane running here. So this is just the latest nightly build of, or the latest build of kgateway. So this one will actually have, in addition to all of the stuff in the README, also a new backend type for a new kind of LLM provider, Bedrock. So this actually just merged, I think, yesterday. So now we support routing to Bedrock providers. So yeah, so like very similar to how you define a backend before, there's just like a new provider type for Bedrock. So as you can like look at this backend, you'll notice that there's no Agent Gateway magic on it. All of the magic actually lives on the Gateway class. So the Gateway class is specialized for Agent Gateway. So now when I define my gateway, instead of picking the kgateway default gateway class, I'll define my Agent Gateway to use the special Agent Gateway keyword. And this is what determines what deployment the deployer will create. So sorry, that's the ATA test. So in this case, the deployer has created this Agent Gateway proxy for me instead of the Envoy-based one. So yeah, so let's look at what, so you can actually port forward this on 15,000. I think I'm already port forwarding it, so that's why it's not happy there. But let's look at the UI briefly, and then we'll send some traffic and demo it. So with the newest Agent Gateway release, we actually do support viewing things in the UI. So you can't edit things in the UI because all the updates are getting sent from the control plane via XDS. But you can see what's configured here. So like I was showing, I actually have an HTTP route pointing to Bedrock. So we can take a look at it here instead of K9s. You can see that the path prefix is just that. And that's my provider name. And then on the backends, I have my Bedrock config set up here. If you don't like UIs and you miss the old Envoy config, we also have the old config dump version. So this is just like a config dump of everything that's getting configured by the control plane via XDS. So I can go look at my Bedrock config here. So you can see that the gateway we were looking at before had a port 8080, and it had one route, and that is pointing to the Bedrock backend. And then we also have the Bedrock policy off with the nice redacted fields here. So with that, let's try sending some traffic. So this was all the config I had to apply to make Bedrock work. So I have an HTTP route that points to my backend. I have a new backend that's the AI type that has my provider. I have my secret, so I've defined my secret with all the AWS credentials. You also can define it implicitly, so this is the explicit version. When you have, if you don't include this off field, Agent Gateway will do the off for you. So that's like if you don't want to define things as Kubernetes secrets for AWS, that also works. So yeah, so now let's send some traffic. So you'll notice if you've ever used like the AWS Bedrock command, there's like, you can't, it's not as easy to send curls because you have to use their built-in like command line tool. But because Agent Gateway provides the unified API, you can actually send this request in the OpenAI format to the Bedrock provider. So when I send this request, you'll notice that I have streaming on, so hopefully it works. So yeah, so I get a bunch of stream requests. So let's actually remove the stream to make it a little cleaner to read what the output was. But we do support streaming and not streaming out of the box, which is kind of cool too. So yeah, so we get a response back. I asked it what its favorite poem was. The Bedrock model doesn't actually have a favorite poem, but you'll notice like if we try a different provider real quick, so like the OpenAI provider, let's just apply this and get rid of the old Bedrock route just to test it. So just clean up the old route so we don't have any conflicts, because the way that we do conflict resolution is just the oldest config gets applied. So I think this won't conflict, but okay. We can leave that probably. So yeah, so now if I send a route to the OpenAI, actually, did I create the secret? I might have not created the secret. Let's create that real quick. Okay. If I send a request to the very old 3.5 model and ask it what its favorite poem is, we should get a different response back. So yeah, so this response, is back from the 4.0 model. Actually, I guess this one wasn't available, or actually, did I? Oh, I had it. It's using the one specified in the backend, and so like this is getting overwritten by what's specified here. So ChatGPT thinks its favorite poem is "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost. So kind of cool because you can use the same API to hit the different providers. And that saves me a lot of work because before I'd have to, find what the right API structure was to send the request. And now it's all like one unified API, which is very convenient. Cool. Yeah, well, that's all I wanted to show. Again, this also supports MCP routes and A2A routes. So if you want to play around with like the MCP backend resource, we have an example here that kind of runs through it. as well as the docs that Art worked on. So yeah, this was like a little intro into how everything's connected and the current capabilities of Agent Gateway.
Amazing. This is so exciting. Hey, I have a quick question. This uniform, the API, I think it's really cool because I was struggle with some of this on Friday. Is that a new function just with the Agent Gateway in kgateway, or it's also with the Envoy base?
I think our old glue, like at Solo, we had a version that we like built a unified API in our Xbox server, and it was a lot of work because it actually involved like changing Envoy to support that. But Agent Gateway supports it natively, so you'll notice like kgateway, the Xproc version of that AI gateway doesn't support unified API because it involved like we want to use like the open source Envoy. But Agent Gateway does. So it's like a nice thing you get out of the box with Agent Gateway versus like if you wanted to do the same thing in Envoy, it would require like an Envoy change. So
yeah, that's really cool. Thanks. I feel that that's one of the features we haven't talked much about. So really excited to see it works on your machine that you're showing off. Awesome. Does it?
The thing that the streaming doesn't cover, but we do have examples of, is the Agent Gateway also works with the inference extensions. So I think John put up a PR last week where we passed the inference conformance tests. So that's like another exciting thing that Agent Gateway has. A lot of like the features in Agent Gateway you'll notice are very like AI centric. So Envoy is still like very relevant for like non-AI traffic, but a lot of the AI functionality is just so much easier to implement in Agent Gateway.
Yeah, that's awesome. Does anyone else have any questions for Nina? All right, great demo. Thank you so much, Nina, for putting that together. Awesome. With that, we are wrapping up the call. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye now.